In a western corner of Tanzania's Serengeti, there is a paradise ruled by lions. It is called Moru. For Africa's king of cats, this golden land is the ultimate inheritance. Lions thrive wherever there's abundant prey and good cover. Moru has it all. With 25 females and their cubs, the Moru Pride is one of the largest around. The park is shared by almost 100 lion prides, each with its own hunting ground. Toughest of all are the open plains that lie to the east. This tiny valley, 25 miles from Moru, is the domain of the Barafu Pride, one of the smallest in the Serengeti. With only 10 members, this family is less than half the size of the Moru Pride, but hardship has forged them into a close-knit team. Yet success for these prides is not just governed by where they live and what the changing seasons bring. Survival depends as much on their ability to defend what is theirs, to cooperate, and to share. The vast Barafu Plains are named after the icy winds which sweep this barren place, empty, harsh, fed by a trickle of water, and so unlike Moru. Flanked by the Itonjo Hills, Moru is a rain trap, a rich and varied land of sheltered pastures and volcanic outcrops known as kapis. This is classic lion country. Most years, good rains bring a glut of prey. The tall grasses make hunting easier. The kapis provide safe dens for cubs. These special features have allowed the Moru Pride to multiply. 25 related lionesses and their cubs is a big family. With 3 powerful males to defend them, and with hunting grounds that extend for over 100 square miles, the Morus are in their prime. Despite the risks, migrant herds of wildebeest and zebra cross this land whenever the rain sweetens the grasses, and lions are notorious opportunists. It seems as if nothing stands in her way. With so many eyes fixed on the pride, hunting as a large group is impossible. But the tall grasses at Moru give individuals a good chance. Surprise is a lion's most powerful weapon, and stealth the difference between success and failure. Lions will creep within about 30 yards of their target before they strike. Hunting always carries the risk of injury, but it's not the only way of finding food. Theft is an easier option. Vultures and hyenas are no match for Africa's greatest carnivore. Lion prides vary in size from 2 to as many as 18 adult females, plus their cubs. Sharing food can be tricky for large groups. A pride of 10 or less stands the best chance of feeding all of its members. But the Morus are more than double that number, and most of their cubs are nearing adulthood with appetites to match. For now, the pride is healthy, but the short rains are nearly over, and there's no telling when the longer rains that nourish this landscape will come. Sometimes they fail altogether. In the Serengeti, rain is life. Without it, there is no food for grazers or for lions, and Moru is drying fast. Only one of the Moru females has small cubs. They're just a few months old, but will stay with their mother until they're 2. Because lionesses normally breed at 2-year intervals, these youngsters represent a major investment in the pride's future. Females can give birth at any time of the year, but their cub's survival depends on a strong and united pride. Starvation, drought, and predators, including other lions, all take a heavy toll. Female lions live for up to 16 years. Like all prides, the Morus are a matriarchal society, a sisterhood of littermates, aunts, nieces. They're all related. They have inherited this hunting ground from their mothers and, in turn, will hand it down to their daughters. Lions are the only cats to form such tightly knit groups, not just for hunting, but to defend their land and their cubs. Sharing is the only way to survive. Barafu, a small pride in a harsh land. The oldest lioness wears a radio collar, enabling scientists to track these tough survivors. All have endured drought and starvation. What little they have, the Barafus must defend, especially against outsiders. Not all lions live in prides. This lioness is a nomad, a pride outcast. She is desperate for a meal. But the Barafus cannot afford to share. Solidarity is the key to survival at Barafu. For now, they have enough to eat. But unless her luck improves, this loner may perish from hunger. All except one of the Barafu lionesses have cubs, sired by 2 strong males. They're not brothers, but strangers who have teamed up to win this pride. Such alliances are common among male lions. The youngest mother is 4 years old. She enjoys playing with her daughters. The mothers and cubs go everywhere together. Only one female keeps to herself. She's coming into heat, and the younger of the 2 males follows her every move. Among themselves, lions are remarkably gentle. But the need to breed can test even the strongest of bonds. Caught unaware, the younger male has not been paying enough attention to his mate. She's teasing the older male, and he is swift to respond. The Barafu females are quick to join forces and restore order. The males may have the muscle, but in lion society, it's the sisterhood that calls most of the shots. Male partners are rarely so aggressive, but there's much at stake. 2 years as pride masters may be all they get before they're challenged and displaced by new males. It's been a long, hot season at Barafu. The open plains offer little escape from the sun. Lions are not gifted tree climbers. They're too heavy. But the shade is tempting. As always, the Barafus stick together wherever they go. Lions rest for 20 hours a day, but they're not lazy. They save their energy for when it's needed. The younger male has patched his relationship with the lioness in heat. Over the next 4 days, they will mate more than 100 times. It has been estimated that for every 3,000 matings, only 1 cub will make it through its first year. Over in Moru, the once green landscape has faded in the blistering heat. No rain has fallen for weeks. The migrating wildebeest have moved on. Now only the residents remain. For this large pride, it's a waiting game. Already there are signs of stress. Food is scarce. The young are hungry, but they will have to go without. Lionesses normally share the responsibility of suckling, but all the mother's milk has dried up. In their desperation, the cubs even try to coax food from a young male. Normally, even in the dry months, Moru has enough prey to support the pride, but 25 lions are just too many to provide for. Lions can survive for 3 weeks without a meal, but tension is rising. The land is crying out for rain. And when push comes to shove, the young males are always last in line. In the heat of the day, agama lizards are active, staring danger in the face in search of flies. African starlings are equally bold. The Morus share these rocks with the baboon, another social mammal. But no one can afford to relax completely. Alarm breaks the spell. From its watchtower, the pride is on alert. One of the lionesses has trapped a baboon. There is barely enough food here for one, but the pride is desperately hungry. Each seizes what it can. In times of stress, any notion of sharing is forgotten. Hunting in strength enables lions to pull down large prey and steal kills from hyena packs. But with so little food around, the Moru pride is forced to split into smaller groups. It's their best chance of survival. The rains are distant. The heat intense. The little Moru cubs are growing weaker by the day. They find it increasingly difficult to keep up with their mother, who now travels far in search of food. Left unguarded in the open, the cubs are in great danger. Hunger drives their mother on. Warthogs live year-round in Moru, but they're a tough catch. A warthog is little more than a meal for two, but it's enough to see the lioness and her partner through this lean time. The cubs are not so lucky. Weak with hunger, they have strayed some distance from where their mother left them. Their ordeal is far from over. The rhythm of the seasons in the Serengeti is never predictable. For days, the Moru skies have teased rain. For days, it has held back. But now a new sound drifts on the breeze. A river of life pours from the woodlands toward Moru. 1.5 million wildebeest are making their annual pilgrimage. Perhaps their luck has turned. But there will be no reprieve. Withered and parched, the Moru grasslands have nothing to offer. The herds are not stopping. As always for Serengeti lions, it's feast or famine. Moving onward, the wildebeest chase the storms toward the distant plains to the east. Ironically, it is Barafu that is first to get the lion's share of rain. Relief comes not a moment too soon. By sticking together, the 5 Barafu lionesses and their cubs have survived the drought unscathed. Now there's even time to play, building strength and forming close bonds. As they grow, these young female cubs will come to know each other and Barafu intimately. With luck, they may spend the rest of their days here as a family. heart of the Barafu Range is a small wooded valley where the pride spends much of its time. It offers security for the cubs and a great playground. A slippery tree is a challenge for these adventurous youngsters, eager to get the hang of it. At ease one moment, alert the next. Lions are always quick to seize an opportunity. After 9 bleak months, enough rain has fallen to lure the wildebeest to drink. Unlike Moru, the open Barafu plains have very few ambush points for daytime stalking. But the lions know every twist and turn of their eroded valley. Teamwork is the key to survival here. This kill will feed the entire pride. To the cubs, wildebeest are still a novelty. Only one of the lionesses keeps her distance. It's been 3 months since she mated, and she's close to giving birth. This small valley is a lifeline for the Barafus, an oasis on the empty plains. Every year the herds pass through, but they don't always linger. Perhaps this year the flush of new grass will keep them a while. Like a mirage, the plains awaken, filling this savage place with life. Unlike the males, female lions never lose their playfulness. The Barafu cubs are growing fast, and games are a way of learning valuable hunting skills. Only at a year old will they try the real thing. All the Barafu cubs are female, except one. He is slightly older and loves to throw his weight around. One day he'll have to leave the pride, but for now, he's well protected. Across the territory, new life has come to Barafu. Concealed in her lair, the pregnant lioness has just given birth to 3 tiny cubs. This is her very first litter. Only hours old, their eyes are still closed. For the next 2 months, she will nurse them in hiding, leaving only to hunt. Lionesses may give birth to up to 4 offspring, but with more milk to share, a litter of 3 has a better chance of survival. For now, she is too exhausted by labor to provide the first meal. Over in Moru, the drought persists, and there are new troubles. The mother of the 3 frail cubs is in distress. For days she has searched for them. In vain. Victims of starvation or predators, more than half of all lion cubs fail to survive their first year. Two months too late, the Moru skies break. The Moru pride is still dispersed. Hunting still tough. It's time to take risks. An adult male warthog with razor-sharp tusks. The lioness has a poor grip. She could easily be killed by a gash to her belly. Pound for pound, the lioness just has the advantage, but the pig is powerfully built and fighting for its life. At last, she has it by the throat. Lions kill by asphyxiation. The rains are generous now. Every day they fall on Moru, bringing relief to this thirsty land. The Moru pride is still scattered in small groups, but little by little, old bonds are being restored. Lions recognize one another mainly by smell. Grooming and touch are important in maintaining relationships. Now almost fully grown, the Moru cubs still enjoy a good romp. After a season of trouble, there's hope for Moru. With luck, the rains will attract more prey. Perhaps the pride will reunite. Time and the seasons will decide. Out across the plains to Barafu, the land is still fresh. The pride still strong. At Barafu, a protective female leads her newborn cubs on their first outing from the lair. The lioness tries to help a straggler, but she's a first-time mother, and her inexperience shows. Her 3 cubs are all male. She won't introduce them to the others until they're a little older. Every lioness in the pride now has cubs, and the 2 males have settled their differences. Together they patrol Barafu. With about 2,000 lions in the Serengeti, there is always competition. As close as ever, the other females are busy with maternal duties. All have milk, which they readily share. The male cub is nearly weaned. He now prefers something to sink his teeth into. In a quiet moment, the tortoise attempts to get away. The rains have drawn new life to Barafu. Guinea fowl are another novelty. But something else catches the cub's eye, giving the tortoise a second chance to run for it. He's sizing up the herds, but he still has his baby teeth. It'll be another year before he's taken seriously. Perhaps the only nuisance that comes with the wet season is a hatch of mosquitoes. Under constant attack, the cubs find it impossible to lie still. Over the coming weeks, hardship returns to Barafu. The dry months are near, and the water necessary to sustain the herds is becoming scarce. As suddenly as it swept in, the great flood of life now ebbs from Barafu. For the small Barafu pride, the season has been generous. There have been no losses, only gains. 3 new male cubs have boosted the pride total to 13. Their arrival is good news for their older male cousin. One day when he must leave the pride, they will be vital partners. The comings and goings of males are a fact of life in lion society, but the females will remain. In the uncertain months ahead, with so many cubs to protect, the success of the Barafu pride will require every member's cooperation. For now, at least, the lion's share is theirs. But not in Moru. There, all hope of peace has gone. A battle for supremacy is unfolding. Powerful outsiders have invaded the land. After 3 years in command, the Moru males face an awesome challenge. Male lions can weigh more than 400 pounds. Everything about them, their massive size, their showy manes, has evolved through the fierce competition for prides. There is much at stake. Already the invaders have claimed their first victim. This veteran has lost his pride and may yet lose his life. After months apart, the Moru lionesses begin to regroup. But there are problems. The pride has been split. Old bonds forgotten. They can barely recognize the smell of their own sister. She is coming into heat, and the other mothers are wary of her. One of the new males does little to calm them. Pride loyalties are now divided. All across Moru, sharing is over. After almost 3 years in the safety of the family pride, this young male must move out. He'd never be tolerated by the invading males and has become a liability to the females. A social outcast forced to wander the plains alone, he faces an uncertain future, unless, in time, he teams up with other young males to win a pride of his own. Splinter groups of lions now roam the Moru territory. Everywhere there is confusion, fear, mistrust. United, they were the greatest pride for miles around. But now the Morus have lost their edge. Hidden among the copies, a lone female nurses her 2 tiny cubs. They've only recently left their den, and she's especially attentive. Unaware of the troubles in Moru, it's just another day of motherhood. Until something terrifying catches her eye. Invading males stalk the copies, intent on hunting down any new cubs. Now she desperately needs the help of her pride. She's prepared to stake her life to protect the cubs. In an act of unbelievable bravery, she tries to chase him off. But the male has no intention of letting up. Instinct tells him the cubs must die. She's little more than half his size and strength, and it will take more than courage to stop him. Harsh as it is, more than a quarter of all lion cubs die this way, victims of a new order. Pride ownerships are so limited by nature that the new males must father cubs as soon as possible. Only by killing the previous litters will the females be free to mate again. But this is a terrible price to pay for the lioness. These takeovers are always traumatic affairs. But in time, with tough new males in charge, Moru should see its pride restored. Moru has seen many such changes. No lion pride can outgrow its food supply. As the seasons turn, as males come and go, so every pride's futures rise and fall. For lions thrive on one special quality, unique among cats, their remarkable ability to share.